Okay, now let's create finishing toolpaths on this. So if would go to contour and create a loop. So I'm going to finish it around, and I can loop it. So see, it's looping it to the wall. So remember, I will change it to C plane, and then just pick that bottom edge here, and then say OK. Let's create another tool. Just maybe pick create tool from the library. I'll just change the filter, say pick end mills, and let's get a 3/8 end mill. Change it to tool number 2. And we can change the cutting speed to make it a carbide tool. Okay, so I can say finish outer shape. Yeah, we'll make the stock to 0. Keep everything as it is. The compensation, remember, either we would use it where or the controls. I'll pick where. And then depth of cut we don't need. Lead in, lead out. What we just change is to smaller line, and the sweep change it to 30 degrees. Send it to the other side. We can overlap it something like 10 thou. And linking parameters, making sure clearance is on. Retract, can do absolute. Feed plane incremental is okay with 0.1. Top of the stock 0. The depth, let's change it to absolute and pick the depth at the bottom of the part, so 1 inch. Okay, so here's our finishing toolpath, just leading in here and leading out, so making a nice small arc there. So let's use that toolpath. Let's move the arrow down. So we have the contour toolpath here. Right click, copy, and then paste. And I'll go in geometry, and I'll say right in the empty window, say rechain all. And now we wanted to finish this step here, right, around this kind of like a island. So to make it climb milling, I need to actually pick chain from here. Now because this is, we only want to run around this wall, so I would switch it to partial loop, turn off the face, and on this chain I'll click here where we want to start, and I want to click here where we want to end. So that's all I wanted to basically finish, and then say OK here. And then in the parameter we just wanted to change the depth, so I'll just pick the depth to here, which is 0.4. Say OK. So now we have the finishing here. Okay, now if we verify these two, if I just select these two contour toolpath, go to verify. Okay, so see, this is now STL file is as our stock, so there, that's already roughed out. And now if I just run it, and we see it's gonna finish it around nicely, and then it's finishing that step. And if I zoom it in, you can see it's clearly leaving a little notch there, because the contour we picked was a little bit smaller. So if I, once again, if I just close it, you can zoom it in and see where we picked the chain, the point, that point is a little bit inside than where the radius is starting. So that's what giving us the notch there. Okay, so one of the way we can resolve, and try to resolve, by the way, so if I go in parameters, in link, lead in, lead out, here is the, if at the end there's the adjust start contour. and adjust end of the contour. So here we can extend it and see if it works. So I will say extend, and we can extend it by, let's say, 150 thou, and then I want to extend the adjust the outer side as well with the same. So we are extending kind of like a 40%, and then see if that helps. So you can see it clearly extended it, but if I look from the top, you can see the where the extension is here. It need to go a little bit more. So let's see if I extend it a little bit extensively. So if I just say 0.5, then see how it goes. Okay, so the problem is that it's extending there. You can see the green line is extending, but it's extending as a straight line, because it think that edge is as a, it's not taking that edge which we picked as a arc, but rather taking it as a spline. So it's just extending it straight rather than following the arc. Since that edge didn't work for us, so we're going to try creating a chain or an edge and then use that as our toolpath chain. To do that, let's learn a little bit about levels as well, because we can keep our geometry more cleaner and manage it better by using levels. So under here we can go to level, and this is the main level. So if I change our active level to number 2, now anything we create will go into level 2. Okay, now in the wireframe on the top, I'm gonna pick curve 1 edge, and I will pick that edge, and then I will say okay, and now we have it edge there. Remember, just to see it, if where is it, I'll just turn off level 1, and you can see there's our edge here. Let me just, if I click it and then right click, we can make the thickness of that a little bit thicker so that we can see it better. And now what we can do is, basically this is the same edge as per the edge we picked already, which we tried it. So it's not, didn't work for us. So what I will do is, we would go in modify length right here, and I would say modify, and we're gonna create, just extend that, the ends of that arc. So I don't know, 0.3 would work. I think quarter inch would work as well, I'm pretty sure, but we can extend it a little bit better, a little bit more than what we need. But anyway, let's see, a quarter inch, I think it's gonna work. So we wanted to make sure we want our on lengthen option, not shorten. So lengthen it, and now if I click on one of the ends, see it's lengthened it with quarter inch. Let's do the same to the other side, and now we are good. So now we have that arc there. Let me turn back the model on, and you can see now, if I zoom it in, that yeah, that arc is, that edge is, or the arc we created is a little bit extending into the radius. All right, so now we can use that as our chain. So going back, this was the contour toolpath here. So if I go back in the geometry, rechain all, and pick this chain, we're gonna have to go to the wireframe here, because this is we created a little, like, kind of like a sketch or a wireframe. So I'll go to the wireframe model here, and now we can either single it or chain it, doesn't matter. We cannot just pick that as our chain. So that's like a wireframe chain, not the model edge. All right, say okay, and regenerate that toolpath. So there's our toolpath, and now when you run it, there's our finishing around and finishing that step. And now if you zoom it in, we don't see any mark there, and it looks nice and clean.